Sure.
When you are outside playing with your son throwing the football and things like that, do you have the luxury of having a fence, or are you tying out the puppy, or what does that
No,
look like?
that's a great question. I have a fenced backyard, but no, we're outside. I don't. My puppies from day one are loose around my property. I don't tie them back, and I don't put them on a leash. And the reason being, and you probably can't do this because of where you live.
Hmm.
Okay, so people have to use common sense when I say something
Can
like
you say
this.
that again, please, Larry? One more time. That last
Yeah, I said
sentence.
you can't do that because of where you live. So people have to use common sense when I talk about something like this. Um, I could do that where I live. And the thing is, like where I live, we have, I live on a little bit over an acre. It's a regular neighborhood. So I have neighbors and there's people walking by and there's dogs. But so many people that don't have to start their puppies off on their own property on leash from day one. Puppies never off leash. It's always on leash on the front lawn, backyard, whatever. And then the problem is the first time that puppy gets off leash and experiences a little bit of freedom, it's like, holy smokes, I'm going to take advantage of this. I prefer that freedom, that off leash freedom, never to be a novelty for my puppies. Okay. So you take advantage of them wanting to be with you, that social pressure where they don't want to leave your side. So in the beginning, when we're outside, the puppy, he's going to follow you. Dante happens to be very independent.
Hmm.
And if we're done playing, he'll take the toy and he'll go lay on the grass and just hang out by himself and just lay down and not move. And if someone comes walking by, he may look, he may stand up and even take a step. He'll just observe, but it's not a big deal to him because from day one that he's been here, that's been natural. Now, if you live in downtown Boston, you can't do that. If you live on a busy street, you can't do that. But because I live the way I do where I'm at, we can get away with that.
Definitely, definitely. Um, are you concerned that as he grows up and he enters into his later adolescence, that you might see some more of this like rule, not even really rules, but like he might start to become more curious, might want to wonder more? Do you have a plan
Yeah,
for that?
yeah, absolutely. And I usually pay attention to that stuff and see how much I can trust them off leash. Like for example, with Luca. When Luca was young, I never planned. I don't start any e-collar training until the dog's a little bit older. Okay, I want all the training done before the dog ever sees an e-collar, and I planned on starting Luca around a year old, and he was really well trained, right? Super, super obedient. At 4 months old, he went after a cat, and I called him, and he stopped on a dime and came back to me, right? When he hit around 9 months old, and that's where you start seeing in a lot of these dogs, we start seeing the issues, right? 8 or 9 months old, you start seeing the real dog come out.
Hmm.
I remember when we were out front playing, he started becoming a little, not reactive, but when people would come by, he'd show a little strength and protectiveness over the property and growl a little bit. So instead of waiting to a year, I said, okay, now it's time for me to start the e-collar training with him for one simple reason, not to punish that behavior, but to be able to still allow him that off-leash freedom without tying him to a leash or to a tie back where he could experience that. But God forbid he decides not to listen to me one day and go towards someone. I don't have to worry about that. You know what I mean? And so that's why I started at that moment. Now with Buddy, my daughter's golden doodle, that's the youngest I ever started a dog, 5 months old. But again, there was a reason. We just moved into this house that I'm in now. We had this house built. We moved in here in January, middle of winter. We had no grass. It was all mud,
Right.
right? So my other dogs could be off leash and I could tell them, hey, don't go out there. They'll listen. Well, with a 5 month old puppy, you can't. So he was living on a leash and I felt bad for him. So one day I came home, I told my daughter, I said, today we get Buddy off leash. And I took 3 days to train him like I do every day on the e-collar. And then now he was able to run free with the other dogs because I can keep him away from the mud without ever punishing him,
Yeah.
without ever setting him up for failure, just teaching him how to pay attention to us, you know?
Right.
So there's always, I have no set rules. I just work with that dog needs. Does that make sense?
That does make complete sense. And I already know how you use your e-collar. We do a lot similar because I've studied and watched your videos and I've learned a lot from them. So yeah, we should have a conversation sometime later about that, about e-collar stuff. But I use the same way. I don't use it to punish the dog. It's not. That's not my intention.
I am Martin Wright. I've been training dogs in Boston for 10 years plus. If you like what you saw so far, click the subscribe button. If you'd like to see more, click one of the links over here. Check out our description for more links to our other social media, including Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, enjoy your day and enjoy your dog.